Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Fire, Managing Director at Fire Marketing. I wanted to show you real quick the 3 metrics I use to help show me the health of practically any website. And when I'm talking about the health of a website, I'm really talking about it from a marketing perspective. I don't want to know site speed or technical configuration or user experience or things like that. What I'm talking about are what are 3 metrics that tell me the health, the marketing health of my website, which a website really is a marketing tool and it helps deliver business results. And so I want to know, is the website healthy or not? And so there's 3 metrics that I usually go to first to kind of tell me what's happening with a website. And I want to show you those real quick. So if you have Google Analytics on your website, you can log into it, go right into the audience section, and it'll probably look like this. And by default, it gives you the last 7 days, not including today, of data. And so usually when you're evaluating a website, the health of a website, you want to look at a larger set of data so that you're not reading into noise. Because what can happen a lot of times is maybe you don't get a ton of traffic and still have all these bounces on your little trend line and a lot of activity this day, nothing the next day. And so what can happen is you end up reading into noise, into nothing, if your date range is too narrow or you don't have enough data to really accurately gauge what's happening. So I at least like to go and look at a month worth of data, or in this case, I'm going to look at just the last 30 days as an example. And the next thing that really is important when we're talking about health is it's relative. You know, how healthy is your website as a marketing tool relative to last month or relative to last year? And I usually like to look at prior year because a lot of the businesses that we typically work with have kind of cyclical business cycles. You know, they sell a lot in August and September for back to school, and then they sell a lot in November, December for Christmas, and then kind of the rest of the year is a little bit lower. And so to do like a month over month analysis really isn't helpful a lot of times. And so we like to look at a previous year because our business follows this certain cycle. And so for a lot of businesses, year over year is the best way to look at that data. I actually have to reload this for it to let me do the previous year. Thanks a lot for that bug, Google Analytics. And so in this case, the first metric that I want to look at, we're looking at the last 30 days of activity versus the same date range in the prior year. So we're looking at March 29th, 2021 through April 27th, 30 days of data in 2021 versus 2020. And that first metric that I want to look at is users. Now, if you're not familiar with some of the language around website metrics, users, it used to be called visitors or unique visitors. It represents a person, for the most part. So if I went to your website every single day for the last 30 days, that would count as 30 sessions, because I had 30 browsing sessions over the course of that period, but I'd be one user, one person visiting that website. Now, users isn't 100% accurate. There's a lot of things that can happen that can kind of throw that off. Like if I visit on my phone and then I visit on my computer, or I use different browsers, or I have a privacy mode enabled or things like that, it can throw off users. But for the most part, it gives us an idea of how many people are visiting the website. And it's an important metric because it shows, do we have traffic? Are people coming to the website? And in this particular case, for this particular property, we're seeing a 73% increase in users compared to the prior year. And you can see what those actual numbers are here. And so in this case, traffic looks pretty healthy. It's increased quite a bit. And so the first metric is telling me, okay, yeah, this is healthy. There's people coming to the site. And so really the next question I like to answer, okay, why is it up? Is there anything contributing to this here? And so the second metric that I like to look at is under acquisition sources. And I just go to the overview panel here for this metric. And I scroll down and you can see a lot of data here, but again, I'm looking at users and I want to look at it by acquisition sources. And for this particular property, organic search is the number one acquisition source, and you can see its growth here, 86% growth year over year. Then referral, then direct, and so I can see right from the top that number one, most of the traffic is coming from organic sources, meaning people are going to a search engine and searching for a keyword that's bringing them to my website, or they're getting here from a referral. Maybe that's a business partner or an article or something like that about my brand, my business, or direct traffic. They're just typing in my ryanfire.com and landing right on my website. So this tells me right away that number one, organic sources, everything's up, but organic sources are really driving a lot of the growth. In particular, organic search is driving the growth. And so I can combine this with a bunch of different signals, like for this particular property, the industry in general is on fire right now. And so there's just, across the board, across the product category, across the industry, everything's up. And so you can see we're kind of rising with that. But organic search is, number one, the highest, the number one source of traffic, as well as like the greatest growth. You see 100% when you go from 0 to some other small number, but 86% growth is really good. And so I know for this particular property, we did some search engine optimization work over the course of the last year. And so that is helping us as well as kind of the general industry growth as well. I don't want to read too much into this and just start guessing. There's some more kind of digging you could get into in general, but this kind of shows me, okay, there's kind of just the health of the website from a marketing perspective is doing well because of really organic in this cases. We do have some clients, or there's some websites out there where all of your growth is because you're buying a ton of traffic right now. And so you'll see like paid search and display. And for this particular website, we are doing some paid search. We are doing some display campaigns. But it's not really the top driver of traffic. It's really not having a huge influence in the growth. It's really because of the organic interest and organic growth on the site. So that's the second metric I like to look at under acquisition sources. And the third metric that I like to look at, which is really a key indicator for the performance from a marketing perspective of the website, is under the conversion goals. Now, every website, your website, should have a conversion goal set up. If you're an e-commerce website, you probably have that already set up. You're tracking transactions, you're tracking revenue within your Google Analytics or your analytics software. But even if you're a B2B or you're a lead-based business or something like that, you should still have a conversion goal set up, no matter what your business is. So a lot of people don't use conversion goals, if they're a B2B business or they're like a service provider or a content producer or something like that. But I would argue you need a conversion goal no matter what your brand does, no matter what your business does, because you need to track what's most important on your website. What is, like, in an ideal world, a potential customer comes to your website, what would you have them do so that you can establish a relationship with them, a business relationship with them? Is it to get a quote or get an estimate? Is it to schedule a free consultation? Is it to consume a particular piece of content? Is it to interact with a certain piece of functionality on the website? In an ideal world, what is that next step, that kind of that goal that you would want somebody to do after coming to your website? Again, if your e-commerce is really simple, it's add to cart, place an order, and check out. If you're a lead-based business, service provider, something like that, it may be filling out a lead form or something like that. And you want to track those as conversion goals on your website. And again, on this particular website, we can see there's 162% increase in goal completion. So it's outpacing the growth of traffic by a little bit. So if you remember, traffic on this site is growing, I think it was like 76% or 86%, I can't remember exactly. But our completions of goals has increased 162%. And I know in this particular case, we did some user experience improvements, we did some better tracking and things like that. And it's helping us get more goal completions. And this is kind of vague and generic because I want to keep all of this information I'm presenting to you anonymous. But we are seeing from a health perspective, this brand site is doing really well. We're seeing a lot more traffic, from a lot of different sources, particularly organic, and it's producing results, and the results are outpacing the growth on the site in general. So, from my perspective, evaluating these three metrics, the health of this site is good. It's doing very well. Traffic is almost double. The goal conversions are more than doubled over the course of a year. So that's doing really well. Now, one thing that we do for all of our clients. So we create a one-page dashboard that looks like this, and it actually pulls in information from Google Analytics, and you can see all of the top metrics for your particular business or brand. And we kind of customize this depending on the needs of your business. And so, website sessions may be more important, or consuming particular content may be important, or leads or call scheduled, conversion rate, all those things. And we put it here on a real-time dashboard that anybody can go to, with the right permission, and see what's going on, the health of the website. You don't have to call somebody and see what's going on, or try and figure out Google Analytics on your own, or get confused by all that. We set up a dashboard for our clients so they know exactly what they're doing. If we're doing advertising for you, we integrate all the spend and all of the metrics from that advertising to see what's happening, to see if you're getting the results that you deserve. So if you'd like to see something like this, or you want to learn more about what's going on with your website, the health of your website, give us a call, send us an email, whatever that is. Be happy to help you. But I hope these 3 metrics, again, that's users, acquisition sources, and conversions. Those are the 3 metrics that really tell me whether or not a site is healthy or not. And hope that this video has been helpful to you. Thanks.